ask you something. Have you ever hugged a woman and felt nothing change? Same energy, same distance, same polite warmth. Now here's the real question. Why is it that some men can give the exact same hug, yet it leaves a woman thinking about him hours later? She replays it. She feels it again. She doesn't even fully understand why. This is not about strength. It's not about squeezing harder. And it's definitely not about being sexual. Because here's the stoic truth most men never learn. Lust is not created by aggression. It's created by controlled intention. A hug is one of the most powerful emotional exchanges between a man and a woman. And when done correctly, it communicates safety, dominance, presence, and desire without saying a single word. Today I'm going to break down 6 hidden touches that transform a hug from polite into electrically unforgettable. Not through force, not through neediness, but through calm masculine awareness. Watch this entire video carefully, because once you understand this, you'll never hug the same way again. Stoic Foundation, Why Touch Works. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And here's what most men don't realize. A woman doesn't feel touch with her skin first. She feels it with her nervous system. Your touch tells her, are you calm or anxious? Are you grounded or seeking approval? Are you leading or asking permission emotionally? A hug is not about what you do. It's about who you are while doing it. If your energy says, I hope she likes me, the hug feels empty. If your energy says, I'm present, I'm grounded, I don't need anything, her body responds before her mind does. Now let's break down the 6 hidden touches. Subtle, powerful, and deeply psychological. Touch 1, the delayed entry. Time creates tension. Most men rush into hugs. They step forward too quickly. They wrap immediately. They collapse the moment. A stoic man pauses. Not awkwardly. Not hesitantly. He lets the space breathe for half a second longer. That micro-pause does something powerful. It creates anticipation. Her nervous system asks, why isn't he rushing? And the answer is felt, not thought. He's comfortable. He's not chasing. Then, only then, you step in. That delay transforms the hug from automatic into intentional. Desire needs space to form, and the man who controls time controls tension. Touch 2, chest-first contact, masculine anchoring. This is subtle but critical. Most men lead with arms. Stoic men lead with presence. When you hug, your chest connects first. Not aggressively, but firmly. Your arms follow. Why does this matter? Because your chest represents stability, calm, confidence, emotional containment. Her body reads it as, I can relax here. And when a woman relaxes, sensation deepens. Lust doesn't come from pressure. It comes from feeling held by something solid. This isn't dominance. This is grounded masculine stillness. Touch 3, the slow hand descent, controlled intention. This is where most men destroy the moment. Not because they lack desire, but because they lack control. They fall into one of 2 extremes. They either freeze, hands stiff, placement awkward, energy uncertain. Their body asks a silent question, is this okay? Or they do the opposite. They move too fast. Hands slide quickly. Grip tightens too soon. The moment collapses under urgency. Their body reveals the truth. I want something from you. Both mistakes communicate the same thing. Anxiety. And anxiety is felt instantly. A stoic man does neither. He understands that attraction is not about movement. It is about intent. During the hug, one hand begins to move. Not immediately. Not suddenly. And never from impulse. It moves slowly. Not searching. Not exploring. Not grabbing. But settling. There is a profound difference between a hand that takes and a hand that arrives. Lower back. Side of the waist. A place that says, I am here with you, but I do not need anything from you. This is crucial, because where the hand rests matters less than how it gets there. The key is slowness. Slowness removes hunger from the equation. Slowness tells her, I'm not rushing. I'm aware. I'm choosing this moment. When a hand moves slowly, her nervous system has time to register safety. There is no shock, no surprise, no internal resistance. Instead, her body relaxes into the movement, and relaxation deepens sensation. Fast hands signal urgency. Urgency signals lack, and lack kills attraction. But slow hands signal mastery. Mastery over impulse. Mastery over outcome. Mastery over self. And mastery is intoxicating, because it tells her something rare. This man is not driven by instinct alone. He can feel desire without being ruled by it. That balance between intention and restraint is what separates men who are tolerated from men who are remembered. A stoic man does not rush intimacy. He lets intimacy recognize him. And when his touch reflects patience, awareness, and self-command, her body understands something her mind doesn't need to explain. This moment is safe. This man is grounded, and this presence is worth leaning into. That is why the slow hand descent works. Not because it is seductive in itself, but because it reveals a man who is fully in control of both his desire and his restraint. And that kind of control is impossible to ignore. Shudder in the stillness hold where lust is born. This is the most powerful part, not because it is dramatic, not because it is bold, but because almost no man has the discipline to do it. Most men hug, and then they release. They treat the hug like a transaction, a beginning and an end, something to pass through on the way to something else. A stoic man understands something different. He stays. Just long enough. Not long enough to make it awkward. Not long enough to signal need, but long enough to let the moment settle. And then he becomes still. No rocking, no squeezing, no adjusting his hands, no nervous movement at all, because movement is noise, and noise kills tension. Stillness, on the other hand, does something dangerous. It removes distraction. When you are still, her body has nothing else to focus on, no rhythm to follow, no action to anticipate, so it turns inward. And when her body turns inward, it begins to feel. Her breathing slows. Then, without realizing it, it begins to match yours. Her muscles soften. Her posture melts just slightly, not because she decides to relax, but because her nervous system feels permission to, and something else happens quietly. Her awareness sharpens. She becomes aware of the space between bodies, the warmth, the weight of the moment. This is where lust forms. Not in action, not in escalation, but in silence, because silence amplifies sensation. When nothing is happening, everything is happening. This is what most men never understand. Women don't crave constant stimulation. They crave presence. They crave the feeling of being with a man who is so grounded, so comfortable in himself, that he doesn't need to do anything to hold the moment. A man who fidgets is asking for reassurance. A man who moves too much is trying to manage the moment. But a man who is still is letting the moment come to him. And that communicates immense power. It says, I am not nervous. I am not rushed. I am not afraid of silence. And silence is where attraction deepens, because when a man is completely at ease doing nothing, her body fills the space with meaning. She may not think, this feels intense, but she will feel it. A quiet pull, a subtle awareness, a sense that something is unfolding without effort. This is why the stillness hold is where lust is born, not because of touch itself, but because stillness allows her body to recognize the calm authority of the man holding her. And once a woman experiences that kind of presence, a presence that does not push, does not rush, does not ask, ordinary hugs stop feeling ordinary. They become charged, because nothing is louder than a man who is perfectly comfortable, doing nothing at all. Touch 5. The breath alignment, subconscious bonding. This one is invisible. No one watching will notice it. No one listening will point it out. But it is one of the most powerful forces of attraction a man can create. Because before words, before touch, before thought, there is breath. During the hug, a stoic man does one thing differently. He slows down, not theatrically, not exaggerated, not in a way that draws attention. Just calm, deep, steady breathing, in through the nose, out through the body, and something remarkable happens. Her nervous system begins to follow yours. This is not metaphorical. This is biological. Human beings unconsciously mirror the rhythms of those they feel safe with. Breathing, heart rate, muscle tension. When your breath is shallow or rushed, her body senses uncertainty. But when your breathing is slow and grounded, her body receives a message older than language. You are safe here, and safety is not the opposite of desire. It is the gateway to it. Because when a woman feels safe, her body opens, not consciously, not deliberately, but automatically. Her shoulders soften, her chest loosens, her awareness drops out of her head and into her body, and suddenly she may feel something she can't immediately explain. Warmth, ease, connection. Not excitement yet, but resonance. She may not think, his breathing is calm. She may not think anything at all, but her body does. It begins to align with yours. This creates three powerful effects at once. Safety. Her nervous system exits alert mode. Emotional bonding. Her body associates calm with you. Subconscious intimacy. Connection without conversation. This is why some men feel comforting, and others feel magnetic. The difference is not charm. It is regulation. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology gave it a name. They believed the man who mastered himself became a stabilizing force in the world around him. The calm man regulates the emotional environment. He does not need to reassure. He does not need to impress. He does not need to escalate. His stillness does the work for him. When her body entrains to yours, attraction stops feeling forced. There is no tension, no chasing, no performance, just alignment. And alignment feels natural, effortless, inevitable. That is why this touch is hidden. Because nothing is done. Everything is allowed to happen. And once a woman experiences how her body feels, in the presence of a calm, regulated man, she may not know why she feels drawn back, but she will. Touch is 6, the controlled release, leaving her wanting. Here's the final mistake most men make. They wait. They wait for her to pull away. They wait for her body to decide when the moment ends. They wait because deep down they are afraid that ending it means losing it. And that fear is felt, not consciously, but instinctively. Because whoever controls the ending, controls the emotional aftertaste. A Stoic man understands something most men never do. Attraction is not built in the moment itself. It is built in what lingers after the moment ends. That is why a Stoic man chooses the ending.
He does not rush it.
He does not cling to it. He does not overstay it. He simply decides. You release first, not abruptly, not apologetically, not with hesitation, but calmly, smoothly, with absolute internal certainty. Your arms loosen without urgency. Your body creates space without tension. Your energy does not drop. And then, you step back with the same grounded presence you had before the hug ever began. This is critical, because most men change the moment they release. They fidget. They talk too fast. They look for reassurance. They undo the power they just created. A Stoic man does none of that. He remains exactly the same, and that consistency sends a powerful message to her nervous system. Nothing was taken from me. Nothing was lost. This moment did not complete me. And that message is what creates emotional residue, because her body doesn't experience closure. It experiences interruption. Her nervous system was settling. Her awareness was softening. Her body was sinking. And then, it ends, not because it had to, but because you chose it. And suddenly something unfamiliar appears inside her. A subtle pull, a quiet curiosity, an unfinished sensation. Her body asks a question her mind didn't prepare. Why do I want more? Not more touch, more you, because the moment ended before saturation. Stoicism teaches restraint for a reason. Marcus Aurelius never spoke about desire directly, but he understood its mechanics deeply. Anything indulged without limit loses its power. Anything restrained gains weight. Desire does not grow in excess. It grows in absence. It grows in what was felt, but not fully consumed. That is why the controlled release matters more than the hug itself. Because when you end the moment from a place of self-command, you communicate something rare. I enjoy connection, but I am not ruled by it. And that balance, between warmth and restraint, between presence and independence, is what keeps a woman thinking. Not consciously replaying techniques, but unconsciously remembering how she felt. Grounded, calm, drawn, and the most dangerous part? You didn't try. You didn't linger. You didn't chase the reaction. You didn't look back to see if it worked. You simply walked away, whole, and that is why it works. Because desire does not chase what is available. It chases what is complete without it. The final Stoic realization. Here is the truth most men never learn. Women don't respond to touch. They respond to the man behind the touch. Your hands are not what she feels first. Your arms are not what her body remembers. What she feels is your inner state. Because every touch carries a message. A needy man's touch says, "Please like me." A nervous man's touch says, "I hope I don't lose this moment." But a self-commanded man's touch says something entirely different. "I am here. I am grounded. I need nothing from you." And that message is what creates desire. Your hug is not seductive because of technique. It's seductive because of self-command. Because a man who has mastered himself does not reach outward to take. He allows others to step into his presence. A man who is calm does not rush moments. He lets silence breathe. A man who is unneedy does not grasp for validation. He already stands complete. A man who is present is not thinking ahead. He is fully in the moment, and that presence is felt instantly. A man who is self-contained does not leak emotion. He holds it, and that containment creates gravity. And when a man embodies these qualities, something subtle but powerful happens. Ordinary moments become charged. Not because he is trying to impress, not because he is performing attraction, but because he doesn't need to. That's the quiet power most men never understand. They believe desire is something you do, something you manufacture with words, gestures, timing, and effort. So they lean forward, they explain themselves, they overgive, they chase reactions, and the more they reach for desire, the more it slips through their fingers. This is the paradox most men miss. The more you seek desire, the more it escapes you. Because desire is not drawn to hunger, it is drawn to wholeness. The moment you stop chasing it, it begins to orbit you, not because you change tactics, but because you change state. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply when he wrote, "Never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it." Read that again. No strength. Because the moment your confidence depends on being liked, you are no longer leading, you are reacting. You are no longer present, you are auditioning. The Stoic man refuses this trap. He does not build his identity on how he is received. He builds it on who he is, regardless of outcome. He speaks without rushing to be understood. He listens without needing to be validated. He gives attention without needing something back. And people feel that. They feel the absence of need. They feel the lack of pressure. They feel the grounded stillness beneath his actions. And here is the final realization most men never reach. The moment you stop seeking desire, you become desirable. The moment your touch is no longer asking for approval, it becomes unforgettable. Because when your presence is grounded, your energy is calm, and your self-respect is unshaken. Even a simple hug stops being just a hug. There is no grasping, no silent question, no hidden request for reassurance. Just certainty, just warmth, just strength without effort. And that is why it becomes a memory. Not because you tried to make it one, but because you were fully there, complete within yourself. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.